Hi guys, welcome to a new video. I'm super excited about this one. This is probably the most fun one, at least so far, in the process of the kitchen. We've also gotten started on the project. I've mentioned before that we have several things we want to do in the home, right? We want to do our bathrooms, we want to do our kitchen, dining room, living room, and office, and hallway. But yeah, we've gotten started. So on that note, ta-da! I'm actually sitting on the floor where the dining room space or furniture used to be. I don't know, something came over me and I just put out the chairs and the table for sale, and in less than like 20 minutes it was gone. So in hindsight, I probably sold it too cheap, but whatever, it's gone. And now our dining room space is completely empty. The kitchen is also up for sale, so, you know, on Facebook in Copenhagen, so if that might be you looking for a new white, beautiful kitchen, you should check that out. But no matter what, we've gotten started, and yeah, maybe a little too soon on the dining room table. But you are here today for the kitchen design, so let's move on to that. Alright guys, I wrote down some notes to make sure that I captured all of my thoughts on this process. It's the first time that I, in my life, are redoing like a full kitchen. Obviously, I've before in previous apartments maybe done updates or something, but actually doing the whole thing is the first time for me. So I also thought it would be a good idea to just quickly share with you what my takeaways are. We've chosen our design and we're in full design mode, right, for the whole room. We have this very long room with dining room, kitchen, and living room. But for the kitchen specifically, my very first takeaway is, you know, visit many different suppliers or designers or whatever you want to call it, right? But maybe no more than 4 or 5. It's a little bit like, I keep coming back to this analogy of like picking a wedding dress. There is absolutely a scenario where you can see too much and you don't want to end up in that scenario. I don't feel like we did either, but I do think that I definitely felt like a few times seeing all the options. Some of the options are very similar, some of them are very different. So if you like put too much in front of yourself, you're never going to be able to make a choice. So, you know, maybe 4 to 5 would be my recommendation after this process. And again, like, you know, with a wedding dress, unless you have like a super clear vision for what you want the kitchen to look like, I would also stay very open to options and kind of like trying out different combinations of materials. So countertop, top cabinets, wood or color, like that kind of stuff. Luckily, I knew going into it that I had an idea of wood, but that was pretty much it. And then I also had an idea of colored on the top counters. I can put in some of my Pinterest board for you guys here. But I did have a few like ideas, but I wasn't very locked in. And I'm telling you, where we ended up, like what we ended up choosing, I actually didn't think that I would have chosen. So that's a good thing. I also thought that I wanted countertop material on the wall. I think that can look absolutely stunning. But playing around with the different designs made me realize that I didn't want that. I had a hard time choosing the countertop because every time I found one that was great for the countertop, I felt like it was like too much for the wall. Every time I found one that I thought was okay on the wall or good for the wall, I felt like it was a little boring for the countertop. So I'll come back to that later on as well. But it could be, you know, a clue to not do countertop material on the walls if you find yourself having difficulties choosing. I also thought that I wanted very muted handles. I'm not saying that we went with handles that are, you know, a lot. They're not at all. But I thought I wanted, let's say, the handles in the same type of wood that the cabinets would be, or maybe even like hidden, like no handles. So yeah, I thought that I wanted wood handles, but I didn't. Again, just be open to the process, right? Lastly, I also just want to say, we've decided now to wait a few months with our bathrooms. We realized that we wanted to put a bigger chunk of the budget into the kitchen. It's such a big piece of furniture and such a big, you know, connecting space of the house. So I think if you can, I don't know, you know, with budgets and stuff, obviously you gotta adhere to them. But if you can, put a little bit extra into that kitchen budget, because that is what we ended up doing to get a result that we were really happy with. Yeah. Down to some numbers. We got a total of 4 offers, and out of those 4 offers, we got 3 designs. All of them were, you know, in pretty much the same price range. But I would say that the very, very best ones were the ones that we ended up having to like pick from. And that was Invita, and it was Svane. I think that the last time I spoke to you guys about designers, you also heard me say designer. Unfortunately, they just didn't give that impressive of an offer, so kind of disappointed in that, but I think it was just maybe the process or the percent, I don't know. But we ended up also meeting with Svane, which was a supplier that we met with after I'd done the first video for you guys. So Invita and Svane was the top 2 choices. I think we should just go for it. Let's start looking at some designs. All right, I'll show you here. So first up, Invita design looked like this. I actually absolutely love this one still. I think it's such a good design, especially the wood element from Invita was something that I fell absolutely in love with. They had a wood called Forever Oak that was just absolutely incredible. And it was really, really, you know, it was tough to not choose them because of that wood element, and they had such lovely staff. But yeah. So I think you, I think you know where we're going here. Drum roll, please. Our final kitchen design ended up looking like this. I want to say already, disclaimer, the wood is much darker than what you see on the sketches, but a few key elements to point out. We widened our kitchen by 40 centimeters so that we were able to get a cleaning cabinet next to the fridge and freezer, and also an extra piece of counter space on the opposite side where we plan on having some recycling. We also managed to get our top cabinets to go all the way up to the ceiling, or almost, which I absolutely love. And then you'll see in the design as well that we added a matching bench in our hallway. And I think this was one of those pieces that we realized that we wanted through the process. It was not something that I had in mind at all when we first started, but I saw it in one of the kitchen shops, like in one of their displays, and I just think that it looks very nice. Because then when you sit on the couch, you'll see the bench in the kitchen. When you come in through the hallway, you'll see the bench first, and then come around the corner and see the kitchen. So it's a very good piece of furniture, very practical for shoes and stuff, but it also just ties the design together across the apartment. I did say to you guys that the wood is a lot darker than it is on the sketch. So here's a picture of how the elements look in real life. This is a photo that I've taken at the shop. So you'll see the beige color for the top cabinets. You'll see the darker wood for the bottom cabinets, and then you'll also see the handle. So we went for a silver or chrome handle, which is very, very nice. A little bit industrial, but still very classic. And then we also went for a stone look countertop. So that is what we're doing. And then finally for the design, because we didn't go for countertop material on the wall as well, we're going to do completely white tiles, and it's going to be something along the lines of this. So white tiles that are, you know, very thin and tall, and then has some sort of pattern in them that kind of, you know, makes them pop a little bit. But they'll be completely white, so just like the wall, and then just have that element of pattern to give the design a little bit more feeling than just the white wall. I'm so excited. I think it's gonna look absolutely awesome. And then finally, I just want to say that the reason that we chose Svane, it was multiple reasons. I think the design itself, it's really, really nice. I'm really happy with it. One more thing to call out are the open box elements at the top of our tall cabinets. We're going to use that for like a wine rack and for some vases, like, you know, to have a bit of a space in the kitchen that we can kind of play around with in terms of color and design. But we chose them due to the full design. I really felt like they heard us and did it exactly like we wanted, but still added all of their tips and tricks to make it work. I think the buyer's process with them was really, really good. We had a phenomenal guy called Henrik who really helped us through the whole process. And once we had decided for them, it went really fast. They also had a piece of the process where we didn't even have to ask. He just explained in full detail how the whole, you know, delivery, installation, everything was going to work. So all of that felt very reliable. And then lastly, it's quite a reputable brand in Denmark. So it's maybe not along the lines of Uniform, which is our current kitchen brand. It's like the most expensive one you can get, and in my opinion, I don't really know why, but they're just below that, and along with a few others. So yeah, they have a reputable name, which is also good in case we someday want to sell or others. So yes, I'm super happy to come back to you once I have the next update. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.